Glad to see everybody. And we are going to take a look at Mambo again. I thought it was fun. Did you think it was fun?
It was different.
It was different. I'm not sure that's always a positive word.
It was challenging.
Challenging a little bit. How about the cut time stuff?
Yeah.
I wish I had a cricket sound effect I could play that for us.
You know, we talked about playing it in cut time.
Yes.
Did some of you like wave in your camera? Did some of you play it in cut time, or did you do it in common time? Cut time people are waving their hands. Good. Good. That makes for a better mambo for sure.
Yes.
And if you weren't able to kind of figure that out, that's a great reason to get a help session either by Zoom or in person. We're starting to see a little bit of more people in the store. Typically what's been happening, because of the way we try to be careful in scheduling, there's usually only one person in the store at a time besides us. So this is a very safe place. Obviously, we're coping with sanitizing and taking care of the store as best we can. And everyone who's come in so far feels very safe. So if you'd like to come in for a help session, we'd be more than happy. It's great when somebody walks in the door just because it's a live body in front of us. It's so exciting. And we have our masks on, but still, you know, they can see us. So do you have any questions on the Mambo? How about the one thing I wanted to ask you, if you did,
I was
is...
going to show him. I even have my mask on right now.
Yes, see, Brian does. Yes, he's wearing his mask. When we do that, the eighth notes, you know, in Mambo, and then another 16 of them, did you try using two different fingers for the same note?
No, but I went to a different octave for the second round.
Okay. I was playing it this morning just because I wanted to be able to play it on the Easy 10. And regardless of what speed you're going, I happen to be playing in cut time, but at a slower speed, obviously. And I found that more often than not, I was using two different fingers, a 1 and a 2, for the same note. Can you see my fingers? Are my fingers on there? Yeah, okay. And I found that made it a little bit easier. It also, God bless you, Brian, it also makes you play the notes a little bit more evenly than if you just use one finger. One finger, you kind of have a tendency that you might be inconsistent with them being, you know, all even, but the two fingers seems to straighten that out. So I would really encourage you to try that out. In any song that has repetitive eighth notes like that, you can take that skill set and apply it to any other piece of music, which hopefully you will. We did talk about category presets, and I brought up Latin. And I thought that the Latins weren't really strong enough. The big band category was stronger, and we wanted some, you know, fairly strong sounds. If we're going to use the Latin, then you're going to want to lower the Orc Plus because it's a little bit heavy for the sounds that are given. And then we had to work through the muscle memory of C minor to F minor. I'd like to assume you can do those two chords back and forth now without too much difficulty. Is that a good assumption for me? Yes or no? Shake your heads.
Joanie?
Yes.
I practiced with one chord because both of these chords were unfamiliar to me. I don't play them that often.
Right.
So I played through the song with just one chord. And then I tried the second chord, and then I combined them after going through the song a couple of times. And it worked out a lot better for me.
So what I hear you saying is you just played a C minor chord till you learned the song?
Yes, with my right hand okay? And I left the F minor out. And then I went to my second chord of F minor, and then my third time I played through it or more, then I combined both of those chords, and it just worked out. It probably didn't sound right, but for me to practice the fingering on those two chords, it was a lot better for me.
I think I follow what you're saying. I'm not positive. Is this Kathy talking to me?
Marlene.
Oh, it's Marlene. I'm sorry. I can't really see the screen. I think
I
it
was
makes...
I was having problems with these two chords because they were both new to me. So I played the song through with my right hand and just the C minor chord.
Okay.
So when I got good with that, then I went on to my second chord and practiced just that second chord with my right hand all the way through.
Okay.
And then after a few times, I combined both of them. And for me, it worked out very well.
Okay. A suggestion I could make is to use, if you're going to practice that right hand, use no chord. So that way the rhythm's going, but you don't have one chord, because there are certain points in the melody that you were playing, and I'm sure you heard it, that if you should have been on an F minor and you were still on a C minor, it sounds a little bit funny. So another way of doing that is just to use a no chord, so you have the rhythm and you can kind of get the right hand under your belt, and then go ahead and work through the two chords. But these were, for most people, unless you've been playing for quite some time, these were not chords that we come up with all the time. So I thought that that would kind of give you a little bit of a challenge. But once you go back and forth with them, because it's so repetitive in the song, it doesn't seem like it should be too troublesome. And raise your hand, if you will, how many people use the Mambo? Brian can tell me the results here. 3 or 4. How many people use mariachi? 1. How many people use merengue? Nobody. That one got vetoed, huh? Okay. And then I'm gonna play it today, unless there's someone else who would like to play. I'd love to have somebody play, but I know it's not always convenient where you are compared to where your instrument is. Is there anybody who would like to play it? Is that a definite no? Is that your final answer? I think so. Okay.
They know that we've started recording already.
Oh, that's okay.
You're going to have to check with your agent before you perform publicly
right?
here.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it for you, but I'm going to actually play it on the Easy 10, because we really didn't spend much time last week with that. So Brian's going to be moving the camera here, and I'm going to be walking over to the other side of the room so that I can get to the Easy 10. And on the Easy 10, I am using the Latin style, and I am using the pianist performer. And I have set the tempo at 105 because I'm going to play cut time. Okay, we good with that? Not just yet? Okay. We'll just pause a little bit here. Okay. So I'm going to put the microphone down, and here we go. Just as a friendly reminder, well, I had it in my head a second ago, but it went away. Changing your sounds is important, of course. And I know what it was. If you're going to use the pianist or the guitarist, that was an option as well. I guess I'm going to walk over here now back to the Inspire. If you're going to use the pianist or guitarist, remember to turn up your drums before you begin. That's pretty important. Okay? Any questions? Any questions at all? Any answers?
Good job, Joni.
Oh, thank you. That's a fun song to play, I think. Okay. All right, so we're just getting someone who needed the link, so we're trying to help them hop on here. So what we're going to listen to now in just a second is a YouTube version of the song we're going to go to. It is Summer Wind, and it is page 88, I believe. Yes, it's on page 88. And the version that we're going to let you hear, actually Frank Sinatra does a version of it as well, but I really like the Michael Buble one. So that's the one I selected for you to be able to play.
No phone. Oh, my phone's right. 18. Okay. I would write the date on the song. Got it. 18.
Did you say 88?
Page 88 in the book, yes?
86.
86.
6, sorry. Bad eyes. All right, here we go. Now we're going to be ready.
That's a pretty song.
Okay. On YouTube. There it is. Okay, so take a listen to this version.
We don't hear anything.
Nice, nice.
So while you weren't seeing it, you really missed it. It was very fun to watch Brian do a little dance with Michael Bublé. He was just perusing around and doing a little dance. That was really
can't help it when I hear my man Mikey Bubble got to burst into dance sometimes.
that was really great. What did you notice that he did a lot in that arrangement?
Ad-libbed.
Well, some of that, yeah. This thing that stuck out in my mind was how many times he transposed.
Oh.
Several.
Oh.
3 or 4.
Didn't hear that.
Oh, that's right. Did you eat them?
Pardon?
We put a lot of horn sections in.
Yeah, there was a musical interlude, and you can create that in the middle of the song as well. Your musical interlude can be using the fake it and then come back into another verse. So that is obviously one feature that we can utilize this week. I'm going to give you some ideas. Let me just bring the music down here so I can see it. I found several rhythms, and obviously I don't have an aria, so I can't really find aria rhythms, but I'm sure that your possibilities are endless on a marquee as well, and a grand marquee. But the ones I found that I really liked were kind of fun, and they're pretty much standardly on most instruments that you will have. On the easy series, if you have an easy instrument, a 2, 4, 10, even a fanfare, you can use the standards full band, but set the tempo around 96. That's what you're going to need if you're on standards full band. Now, the other names of the rhythms are unusual in that they may be a signature style, but they don't have to be, especially if you're using Intro 2, which I did. The first one I tried was Music to Watch. That's the signature style for Music to Watch Girls Go By, and I set that tempo at 96. I also did Balloon Ride, which I like that as well. That's a signature style as well, but again with Intro 2, it's not the signature. And I set that Balloon Ride at 91. I also used 8-beat standard, which is pretty popular on the, once you get past the mid-size instruments, that's on almost all of the instruments. 8-beat standard, I played between 95 and 100. Two more that also work. One's called My Love 8-beat. Very nice rhythm. And last but not least is a rhythm called Feeling So Good. Like I said, most of these are typically signature style rhythms. However, they don't have to be signature style if we use Intro 2. And then we have the luxury of changing it up and have a lot of different versions. So I am going to do a few things with you first before I play it. I am going to add just a few chords. You may or may not want to do it because it's a little more advanced chord. But on the first line, complete measure 2, which is blowing, there's a D and an E. Above the D, I'm going to play a C sharp diminished. And that sounds real nice. I'm going to do that again on the last note of line 2, C sharp. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to do C sharp on the last note of line 2, the C sharp chord. It's just the black key to the right of C. On line 4, measure 3, instead of playing a C, I really enjoyed playing an E minor. I thought it lended itself and went to an A7 in a stronger way. So you can play the C or you can play E minor there. On the top of page 87, measure 4, again I played C sharp diminished. On line 3, the last note of the first measure, I played the C sharp chord and then went to a C. And that's all I did with that. Now, when you're on page 87, measure 2, this is where you're going to get a little busy because I recommend that you transpose up 1/2 step while you're doing all those rests. And also change your sound there. Like I said in the beginning, you're probably going to choose the rhythm. If you're using style setup or vintage, you're going to choose the rhythm style that you like the sounds the best with. And typically, that's not always how we make decisions on what we're going to use. But in this case, I think you'll find that because I found that myself as the criteria for which rhythms I enjoyed using. That's the only change that I made, except for at the end of the last line on page 87, I put in 2 dots, and I went back to the beginning of the last line, and I played the last line twice just as a little tag ending. Okay, so if we could unmute, and I'd like to take some questions before I begin.
Joanie, what book are you using? I just got on late.
Oh, hi, Don. We are in book number 74. It's called Over the Rainbow and 40 More Great Songs.
Okay, thank you. I think I
You're
have.
welcome.
I don't have that book.
Joni,
Yes.
where did you put the C sharp diminished on the second page? Over the D or over the G?
The C sharp diminished. Is that the one you're asking me about?
Yes.
That's over the D. The last measure, measure 4,
Thank you.
first note.
Thank you.
Joni,
you're
you said
welcome.
that, Joni, you said that on page 87, the third measure, there was a C sharp somewhere. Where was that?
Measure 1, the last F that's an 8th note, I played a C sharp chord there and then went right to the C.
Say that again. What, on page 87, what line are you on?
Line 3,
Yep,
measure 1, the last note, the F that's an 8th note,
yep.
that's where the C sharp chord is played.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. One more thing I want to talk about for this, and I decided to add this skill set because it's something that you can do in a lot of the music you play. It's known as a chromatic. If you look on the page 86, the very first measure goes from an F to a D. Do you see that? Well, if I play from an F to a D, I don't know, can they see my hands? Okay. If I go from an F to a D and I play every note in between, okay, that's known as a chromatic because I'm playing every single note. And when you do that, that's like, instead of just adding a grace note there, we're adding several notes. Now, you do have to do it timely, I will say that. So it's going to make your fingers move a little bit. But it really sounds nice to add that to it. I'm just pulling up music to watch right now. And let's see, what did I do? I think I used, style setup. Not the vintage on this one. One of the things that it made me think about with Michael Buble was, if you like flugelhorn, you might be inclined to want to find which one of these rhythm styles will give you flugelhorn. But I'm just going to play it right now on Music to Watch and let you hear what I do, and try to watch my right-hand fingers when I do that chromatic, because I'm going to do it every time. Incidentally, I just want to point something out. If you know the tempo that you want to play it at, you don't have to scroll the tempo buttons down. You don't have to do that. You go to keypad and go to numeric, and I'm going to put in for Music to Watch 9, 6, and touch my tempo button. There it is, it's done. So we don't have to scroll tempos nearly as much as I do see people do, because if you know what the number is that you like and you want, then you're good to go. Okay, this is in the key of C, so we're going to use a C intro, but I'm going to be using intro number 2, so it is not a signature style rhythm sound. Here we go. And again, I used ending number 2 as well on that. Now I'm gonna
We were dancing, Joanie. I don't know if you could see us. We were dancing
oh, I
behind you.
missed it. Bummer. I'm gonna run over to the Easy 10, and I'm not gonna ask Brian to really move the camera again because it's so cumbersome. But you can listen to it unless they want to. Oh, he says he can do it. Okay. It's good to have people, isn't it? All right, so we're going to do standards, and we're going to do full band. And in this case, I don't have a keypad, so I do have to scroll down to 96. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here now. And I'm going to try to quickly pull up Balloon Ride so you can hear that. There we go. And again, I'm going to use my keypad to put in 91 because I already know that that's what I want the tempo set at. Oh, by the way, on the Easy 10 that I just played, I moved that tempo up to about 102. It seemed, 96 seemed a little bit too slow for me. So just to let you know that. And this is Balloon Ride. And on this, I think on this one I was using my vintage. Yes, I used my vintage on Balloon Ride because I really like the George Shearing sound, which is number 6, and I like the strings to start out a little bit light and then give it a little push at the end. Now, if I wanted to do a little interlude and go to fake it, I would just go back to the beginning. I'd play the chords. I picked a bright brass because the version Michael did was very instrumental on fake it. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Okay, so for lack of time that we have here, I'm going to go to 8-beat standard. And the way you do that is you still go to the alpha pad. And then at the bottom of the alpha pad, it has 1 through 9. And you have to tap until you scroll till you get to number 8, and then touch the style list, and it'll take you right there to 8-beat standard. And then I'm going to go back to the keypad because I now know that I want to play 8-beat standard between 95 and 100. So now I'm going to go to the numeric keypad, and for compromise, I'll put it at like 97 and touch my tempo, and I'm all set with that. Now, if you have questions about any of the things that I just said, feel free. I'm only going to play the first section of the song because I wanted to show you one other one or so, and we're getting down to the time here. So on this one, I really enjoyed, let me see, I think, let me take a look at this. Yeah. On this one, I used style setup, and I liked the sounds that it gave me for that. And I liked the jazz flute, which was great. That was number 5 on the lower right split. And I also really liked number 10, which is mellow brass plus. So you might want to give that a try. So here's just a little bit of this. Which one did you like the best? It was really fun to play this because my back was to Brian, but in the places where I had rest and I was holding, I could hear him tapping on his lap. That gave it a little extra rhythm.
I'm either helping out with the drums or dancing. It's gotta be one of the two.
Out of those 3 rhythms that you did hear, which one did you like the best? You can go ahead and unmute.
Music to watch.
Music to watch?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Same here.
Okay.
I didn't even have that. I don't have that.
Does everybody get the right hand embellishment?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good. I just wrote chromatic. The symbol that I used is just like a gliss. I put that little squiggly line between the 2 notes. But I knew in my mind that we were meaning to have it be chromatic instead of just a gliss. And then the other 2 you can give a try on your own for is My Love 8-Beat or Feeling So Good. And try those out. It's very, very, very pleasant song. When I just did it on 8-beat standard, I like the mellow brass that I used, but I forgot to transpose back to C, so it was in a higher key, and I would have preferred it not to be quite that high, to put it back into the key of C. Is there any questions? It's a very pleasant song. I really like it. It's not the same feel as getting your juices going with Mambo, but it's a nice song to kind of bop your head along with. And go ahead and take a listen to Michael Buble. Also, like I said, Frank Sinatra would be the 2 versions I would listen to, and very, very both very good, very pleasant. Okay, once again, in terms of announcements, just if you don't see someone you would typically come to class with, give them a little shout this week and just ask them to get on so we can really protect our numbers there. Also, if you have an EY instrument, today at 1 o'clock I will be doing a product series workshop on the EY instruments. I'll be using an Encore and an Inspire. The virtual classes that are coming tomorrow and Thursday, Brian is teaching the variety class this week, so you'll get to enjoy that whether you go on Wednesday or Friday or Thursday.
Hold your applause.
Yeah. So he'll be teaching that class. And on Friday, Carrie Price is going to be in concert on Friday at 2 o'clock. So we have a pretty full week, I would say. But I'd love to work with you. Come. If you want to come have lunch with us, we'd like that too. Anybody who wants to visit. Always give a call and try to keep in your mind that if you do call and no one answers, it's probably because we're involved in Zoom. But please leave a message because we listen to the messages always after a Zoom, and then call anyone back who might have called the store. Okay? Any other questions or comments before we go? You good to go?
We'll
I
do
love
lunch,
this.
Joanie.
I'm sorry?
We'll do lunch, Joanie. That's Mary Bannister. Hi.
You'll do lunch, you said?
Yes, with you.
Oh, awesome. All righty. All right. Well, thank you for being on today. I love doing this class. I love sharing the styling with you, and I try so hard to pick out skill sets that you can then make applicable to other music that you play. So hopefully you got some of those tips today. Try it a little bit with Fake It, because the more you try Fake It, the better it gets to be sounding. The whole key to Fake It is just in changing your chords. And I just played the first section of the song and then jumped right back in playing the rest of it myself. So that's a good, nice little instrumental interlude for you. And I appreciate you all being here. Give a wave in your screen right now so that everybody can wave to each other. and have a wonderful day. Take care. We'll see you next week or next time or later today at 1 o'clock. Bye-bye.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Joan. Bye then.
You're welcome.